Hey everyone, welcome to Unearth podcast with Shelly Hughes. I'm Shelly Hughes. In this podcast, we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of business ownership and entrepreneurship. We talk about the wins, the losses, the challenges, the celebrations, and really lessons learned about growing a passionate, profitable brand. Today, we're talking a lot about entrepreneurship and, something that I feel really confidently about and a little bit controversial. A lot of things we do on this show are controversial, but it's the idea that relationship building is more important than sales. And before you're like, Shelly, you're a little crazy. If I don't have sales, I don't have a business. You're right. I'm being a little. It's a bit of a joke, right? But hear me out. Um, it's all about mindset, and I feel like as entrepreneurs we focus so much because we have small businesses. We focus so much on, and even my friends with bigger businesses, they focus on sales, they focus on profit margins, they focus on following up with leads, upselling. Their salespeople. They say this is what you should focus on, and everyone knows that relationship building is such an important part of business and sales. But when you are looking at the numbers, when you have to report those numbers every single month or every single quarter, a lot of times relationship building that can kind of be a slow burn or a delayed gratification is not as prioritized in business compared to sales, closing deals, following up with leads, right? Um, so why do I think that relationship building is much more important than sales? Relationship building it's a method of expansion. Um, if you focus on relationship building over sales, I guarantee you it is going to 10x whatever you do in sales. And I think but you also always have to have that generosity and that receiving mindset. It's kind of like hunting versus gathering, right? When you are so focused on sales, you are hunting. You are going after exactly what you want. You are following up with that person. You're very, very, very focused on that. Um, when you are relationship building, you have to change that to kind of a gatherer mindset or kind of a receiving mindset of I am genuinely and authentically helping. I want to support these people. I want to make legit meaningful relationships with these people. I want to actively listen to them. I want to hear about their challenges and hear about what makes them tick. And honestly, I want them to like me and I want to like them. I want this to be an all encompassing good relationship, business relationship. Um, some of those business relationships have turned into great personal relationships as well. And I think of this as kind of a give, two different ways to approach this. Um, when you are focusing on sales, I always think it's kind of like, okay, let's gather some acorns. If you're focusing on sales, you're staring at the ground and you are finding 100 different acorns on the ground and you're picking them up one by one and putting them in your basket, right? But what relationship building does is it kind of lets you look up for once, right? And you see this huge tree above you that has millions of acorns that are just ready to be collected. And I think that is the definition of, relationship building and receiving and kind of looking at that big tree versus, picking up an acorn one by one. Because if you make that single really impactful relationship, then, that will pay back tenfold of the effort you put into really building that genuine relationship. But the point is, you have to make it genuine. This isn't just networking, like, hey, let's get on a 10-minute networking call and get to know each other, because it's useless. So, and it's not authentic. And I think what this means is that you actually have to care about the people that you want to connect with, right? You have to say, okay, we align on certain ways, whether it's our values, our services, our niche, our industry, whatever it is, we align in a certain way. We would probably be friends outside of work, right? And it's giving and receiving, right? You have to give just as much as you receive. So it's you sending them referrals. It's you sending them articles you think that they'll like. It's being top of mind for you so that they think and they know like, oh, this person actually cares about me. Um and this isn't inauthentic. Like I don't want that to be, you to think that in any way. You have to find people you truly want to build a relationship with. And if you make a few of those, then it can really pay back. So what does this look like? First of all, what I recommend is get in rooms with people that have much more zeros than you do, much more money than you do. That will put you in really solid mindset. They probably have an abundance of connections that it would be really hard for you to get anywhere near. Um, and they can really turn into mentors for you and people that you can talk about money with, right? They might give you some really good tips. I know I was just chatting with um, someone a few months ago who has much more zeros than I do. And he asked me, how much money is in your bank account? I'm like, oh, I don't know, let's just say something like 50K is liquid right here, right? Um, and he's like, you don't know exactly how much money is in your bank account? I'm like, well, no, I can look it up. He said, you have to know exactly how much money is in your bank account. If you go into your bank account every single day, you know exactly how much money you make every month, you know exactly what your savings is, exactly what your spending is. I guarantee your money will go up. And it's just little things like that where if you put yourself in rooms with people that have much more zeros than you do, you're not only going to be able to learn from them from a mentorship perspective, but their circles are so grand with people who have lots of resources that if you're able to make a genuine connection with one of those people, it'll really be able to expand and you can really help each other. But here's the thing, whenever you build mentors, whenever you gather a mentor, you always have to make sure you're giving them just as much as they're giving you. So, what can that look like? It can be, like I said, sending them articles that you think would be helpful, sending them speaking opportunities. Like, hey, I saw this, I thought you'd be good for this. So even and what I've learned, I was part of a CEO cohort in one of the Chamber of Commerce in Philly, and where they have small business owners connect with large business owners. And one thing that I learned was a lot of these large business owners, they can learn a ton from the small businesses. So you can teach the large businesses a lot, as just as much as they can teach you. So the second way this could look like in building out your relationship circle and relationship building is finding mentees. I think, you know, I think it's great when people look for mentors, but you always want to give back the other way. So finding mentees that you can really build up is going to be great because that's really delayed gratification because depending on where they are, they might be able to get into a position where, they'll want to refer you or they'll want to bring you in for a speaking opportunity or whatever. So it's kind of relationship building up the chain, but it's also relationship building down the chain within your community. Um, and the third one of what this could look like is to develop evangelists. And this is a really interesting one because, like I said, this has to be a very authentic approach. My team has done such a good job this year of getting me in front of people, getting me to do things like this podcast, getting me to go to these conferences, going to these speaking engagements. And it's amazing that they put me in such the right rooms, um, because every single person in that room I would want to talk to for like 3 hours straight, right? And it's all about being an active listener to other people. It's listening to their issues. It's listening to what keeps them up at night, like what they're really passionate about. And I think if you really actively listen to people that you're trying to build relationships with, giving your 2 cents when it's asked, um, and just being that really personable person that always wants to see the people around them succeed. You are going to be loved. You're going to um, be that person that is, your name will be shouted from the rooftops of, hey, I know this person. He's great or she's great. I think you should really connect with them. And so, relationship building is all about method of expansion, because even if you're first tier relationships, people you know directly, even if they won't be able to give you any type of business, they will refer you to so many other people. So again, it's kind of like that tree, right? If this one person, influential person, can funnel business to you through referrals, those referrals we know for a fact are going to be much more trusting of you than a cold call, right? Because they know your first year connection. And those referrals can keep coming, right? So that is what the analogy is about, of collecting individual acorns versus um you know looking up and seeing a million acorns on the tree, and they're just, if you shake it a little bit, 15 will fall into your basket. So how to build these relationships. Like I said before, you give more than you take, whether it's a mentor, whether it's a mentee, it's someone in your circle, whatever it is. Have a list, and whether it's in your mind or, and this can't be a list of 200 people, right? Keep it short, keep it like a few people that you really want to nurture relationships with, and go through that lesson list and say, how can I help them? Like, oh, I know this publisher for this magazine is doing this conference. I know a great sponsor for them. Let me connect them, right? How can you continue to help these people all year long so you're at the top of their mind? Um, Also, engaging communities you want to build relationships with. So, your time is so important. So, you don't want to go to every single networking event or join every single committee. It's being really, really targeted and kind of quality over quantity. That's actually going to be our phrase, or our word next year: quality over quantity. Um, and go deep in them instead of broad. So, instead of joining 100 different groups, um, join one that you know that the people in that group is going to be exactly who you need to build relationships with, and go deep. How can you not just go to, if it's a chamber of commerce, don't just go to all the networking events, right? Join committees, join groups, get in deep discussions, right? Talk to your membership manager and see who you can get connected with and how you can help them, right? So definitely go deep in these communities that you want to build relationships with, instead of really broad. Um, PR is a really great way to do this too, right? It's, what kind of strategic partnerships can you develop? How can you make really good rapport with some of these media reporters so that they reach out to you for a media hit, or they want your 2 cents on a certain topic that they're reporting about, instead of you constantly trying to reach out to 15 different reporters, right? So PR is a really good one here. um, Also, being a thought leader, right? Getting, and this is kind of where it gets weird, right? When people don't want a lot of attention, but if you present yourself as a thought leader, people automatically respect you. So and it's weird how this works, because you you'll think to yourself, like, what do I know about X, Y, and Z topic? But you know a hell of a lot more than most of the population if you're doing it every single day. So if you pose yourself as a thought leader, then people will respect your thoughts. So it's weird how that works. That goes into PR as well. So I will say once and I will say again, relationship building is more important than sales. And it's more important than sales because salespeople focus on the individual sale, sale, right? They focus on following up with that lead, making that code call, right? Making sure that they're meeting their quota for the quarter. Where relationship building is kind of on the back burner because it's delayed gratification. But if you really put investment into that relationship building, I'm telling you, it's going to give back to you tenfold. So that is my thoughts about relationship building over sales. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this. Send me a DM, comment below. Give this podcast a 5 stars if you like it. I think it really helps get this into the ears of people who really need to listen to this kind of stuff. And share this with someone who you think would benefit from it. Appreciate you.